All right, guys, this is going to be a trade recap for the trade that we took this morning. This one was a loss. So um, I think it's going to be nice for you guys to see why and how this was a loss, why it ended up working out, because we've only been winning recently. So this was due at some point. So the setup here from a higher time frame, like full top-down analysis, 4-hour change in state of delivery lower out of a weekly fair value gap. Okay, so that's number one. The higher time frame setup. This is a reversal price signature. So I'm at some point inside of this leg, I'm looking for price to reject and then make a move lower. Okay. Now, that's where my overall higher time frame bias derives from. So inside here is where I actually need to find a setup. Now we had this 15-minute order block right here. The thing with this 15-minute order block that I also mentioned in the live was that this has already had a few actionable setups trigger off of it previously, right? So if I go down to the 1 minute, you guys will see we had a 1 minute change in state right here happen, and that got deleted. And then we had another 1 minute change in state here happen, and that also did not push to the target. So we pushed into this order block for a fourth time, and the only reason I really was interested in this, normally this is not a trade that I take, and this is not an A+ setup, based off of the fact that we had already mitigated and delivered off of this order block previously. But the reason why I really liked this setup was because ES went through new high of day, right? We went into the daily opening gap on ES. And as you guys can see, NQ is way below, right? There's Asia all the way up there. So we're way below. We had an extremely strong SMT. So I ended up waiting for a setup to form. We did not get the change in state of delivery here, okay? And we ended up putting in more SMT, internal SMT here at these highs, and then we got the setup triggering off of the change in state of delivery. I entered off of that closure, and I had a stop loss at this high with a TP at these lows, right? This is the low of the day. Okay, so that was my final TP. And then my partial was going to be these data lows, right? Half off there and then hold the rest down to there. So all in all would have been about a 2.06R, so about a 2R. And what ended up happening was we went a little bit lower and then came up into this bearish 5-minute fair value gap. We chilled in there for quite some time and formed a bullish 5-minute fair value gap. And this bullish 5-minute fair value gap ended up delivering to the upside, and we inversed the 5-minute. So right here on this candle, when we inversed is where I prematurely closed this trade out. I didn't even let it go hit my stop loss, just because if it inverses that 5-minute gap, chances are it's going up to that anyways, right? So that was the trade that I took here. Little loss. And yeah, the only reason really beyond just the choppy price action that this was a loss was obviously us using a already mitigated PD array. I get questions about this all the time. Now you guys have seen a loss real time in action from a mitigated PD array, right? And this is why I use fresh PD arrays as opposed to the mitigated ones. Okay, so that was the loss. I think it's about a $300 loss. I'll put it up on the screen. There you go. $327 loss on this. But yeah, that's it.